Good morning and welcome back to the ham radio shack of KA4 PNV. This morning, let me hit this 2-meter radio over here. Somebody's trying to bring a repeater up here. Cut it down there a little bit. This morning we're going to be covering some of the digital modes on the HF radio. The JT65HF, Digipan, CWget, CWType, and Ritty, and slow scan TV. And these digital modes that I'm mentioning here are all free for the downloading of amateur radio, and I'm going to get into just how simple it is to set up the digital modes. Basically all I have here for this JT65 here that I have set up here on my Kitwood here, the TS520S, is just basically the transceiver hooked into the sound card, and all I have in between the sound card and the audio mic input of the radio is a small miniature audio output transformer that you can pick up for Radio Shack pretty cheap. And I use the Vox to key the rig up with, so I don't need a TR switch on it when you're using the Vox. That's basically it. And I do have the audio hooked up here so it can be muted when people are in the shack here. It gets right annoying to be hearing those tones. But I have it muted here where I can just go into the mic input of the radio and get rid of those tones. I don't mind them myself, but people here in the house get right annoyed with them. So I just basically all I have for that is just another isolation audio output transformer put in between that and put in between the sound card and the mic input of the radio. Real simple to hook up for the JT65HF, and you can do a search to get this program, the JT65HF, on the internet. And we'll go over here to Digipan. I have set up here on my old Tempo 1 here, which seems to be a solid performer. It's seems to be almost immortal, really. I've had very little problems, if any, with that. I have it set up on Digipan here, and it I don't think I can get a good shot of that. Maybe I can. Have it set up on Digipan, and basically all I have, as you can see it up there, is a mic hanging in front of the speaker up there for Digipan, and I'm using that for Digipan, and that's basically it. And in between for the mic there, again, I have another isolation audio output transformer put in between the mic input and the sound card down here on the CPU. So it's real easy to set up. You don't need a lot of stuff to set it up with. In fact, this MFJ interface over here, for no more good than it's doing me, I may as well throw it into trash. I mean, I don't even need it anymore with all these sound card programs coming out here. This is Digipan here running on the Tempo 1. And we have the JT65HF, and make sure you get the current programs when you download these, and the Digipan 2.0 on the internet. And we'll get into a couple of other programs here that you can download if you're into CW. The CWget, which is a receive CW program that receives CW, and basically all you need is the same setup for that as you have for Digipan and the JT65. Just basically a mic hanging in front of the speaker. You could have a more elaborate setup, of course, if you wanted to build an interface or something like that, but if you just want to get by, you don't need much more than that. And the CWType program works a little different. I had to build a little interface for that for CW, because that is Direct King, which amounted to a switching transistor and a switching transistor into an audio or audio output transformer that you can get at Radio Shack, like the one I'm using on Digipan, into a switching transistor, and then that into a relay for CW. You can get the schematic for that on the internet if you're into CW. And also the this program, the CWget and CWType, can be downloaded from dxsoft.com. That's dxsoft, SOFT.com. And they're two very good programs, and as far as I know, they're free. And also they have a slow scan TV program there. That's fairly good. I've got some pretty decent pictures off of that, and basically all you need for that's called MMSS TV, and you just hang a mic in front of the speaker for that, and you can get Scotty 1, Scotty 2, and some of the other slow scan TV modes that they're using. And yeah, that can be, those two programs can be downloaded from hamsoft.ca. That's hamsoft.ca. You can get those programs there and others as well on that website, and they are free programs. The good thing about these programs is they're free, and they're very easy to set up. I made quite a few contacts on Digipan here on 20 meters. And I have the JT65 here is set up on 20 meters, and I have the Digipan over here. It is set up on 40 meters. So if I get bored with one band, I can move over here, and I have simple transceivers here. I have the Tempo 1 here for the Digipan, and I have the TS520S set up here on JT65. I've worked a lot of stations with this on 20 meters. It's a great program. The only thing is about JT65, you have to have the time accurate on it, because it starts transmitting and receiving on the minute. You have to make sure you download a program to set the time on your computer constantly, at least once every 15 minutes, I would say. Okay, that's about it for my tour of the digital modes here that I use here in the shack. And I don't have an elaborate setup here, just really simple transceivers here that I'm using. This Kentwood here, and the old Tempo 1 over here. It seems to be very stable on the bands here, and of course the 520 Kentwood I have over here. It's pretty stable too. I use that here on Digipan. Okay, and I do appreciate you taking a look around the shack here with me this morning. And you may be interested in trying some of these programs. If you're a shortwave radio listener, you might want to just receive these programs. You will need the upper sideband for the JT65 and the Digipan. And if you're running Ritty, I believe that runs on the lower sideband. That Ritty program, it can be downloaded at hamsoft.com. That's a good program too. Okay, thank you very much for taking a look around the shack here, and I'm going to sign off here. Kind of a cloudy day outside, sun's in and out as I look out the window here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Almost heaven, especially here in the shack. Okay, thank you for taking a look at our radios here, and this old Swan Cynet here, I guess I could hook it up on one of them digital modes too, but I use it to talk on. Okay, and I thank you very much. I have a 2-meter radio sitting there too. I have just about everything here in the shack, and nothing's really really elaborate. It's pretty basic setup here. Okay, thank you for taking a look around the radio shack here, and God bless you. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is KA4PNV 73s, and we'll see you on the band there on Digipan or JT65. Thank you very much for taking a look at this video.